Sports Entertained is recorded live at twitch.tv/baldyandthebeast. Come check us out every Tuesday and Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and watch the matches right along with us. We need to redo that whole intro portion because I wasn't recording anything. I'm a schmuck.
Oh, you're such a schmuck.
Yeah.
That was even a good intro.
Yeah, I know, right?
Good content for the audio listeners here while we take the...
Take two.
All right, let me know when we're good.
Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Bront.
I'm Willem, and this is take two because I'm a stupid idiot and I forgot to record the fucking first part.
But we are Baldy and the Beast.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll change it to Baldy.
Oh, god damn it!
Stupid idiot.
Okay, hold on. Let's redo take number 3 because your fucking internet decided it was gonna take a shit and like your entire little thing that you just said went away. So I'm gonna keep it in anyways. But let's do take number 3.
Take 3. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm tired of this intro.
I'm Will.
And we are Baldy and the Beast. Welcome back to another episode of Sports Entertained. What are we doing this week, Willem?
Okay, for the third time, and hopefully the final time, we are watching the match that created the Muta Scale, the match that created the impetus for the gimmick month that we have created today. You know, we are going to be watching the Great Muta versus Hiroshi Hase. And go ahead and give your backstory joke.
Yes, I gave away that it was a joke and not the real thing. So the backstory behind this match is backstage, Hiroshi Hase bet Great Muta that he couldn't bleed half of his blood. And the Great Muta was like, fuck you, I bet I can. And that's how this match happened. Yeah. There's just lots of blood. He hits a gusher.
Yeah. By all means, this is probably one of the bloodiest matches of all time. How fitting that a month that was dedicated to watching the Great Muta bleed is ending on the only match that we watched that had the Great Muta bleed.
Yeah. That's what I get for being like, oh, I just want to save my reaction for the live streams. Never again. Learned my lesson.
Yep. But yeah, I'm very interested in this match. But you know, I lost what I was gonna say. We will probably be doing more of these gimmick months in the future. This is very entertaining because, you know, very fitting for October, the spooky month, that we go and we sat around and we watched some of the bloodiest matches of all time, and a lot of like hardcore stuff, a lot of quote unquote garbage wrestling, what I like to call popcorn wrestling, because that's what it is. It's just summer blockbuster movies in a wrestling match where there's just a ton of action, ton of nonsense, ton of garbage, not really good work rate wrestling, but it is what it is.
It is. It barely beats out good work rate matches.
Yeah.
I love this. I love garbage wrestling. I remember being so excited, and this is kind of a side thing, when Kenny Omega was fighting Moxley in their lights out match. And at the beginning of the match, Mox goes outside and he goes, "You ready for some fucking garbage wrestling?" And I was like, yes, I am. So much. So, no, I love this shit.
Yeah, it's so good. But let's go ahead. Let's get into the match because, you know, this actually, compared to some of the other stuff that we've watched, this is a relatively long match. This is actually
right around a half.
Yeah, right about half an hour, which, you know, compared to all of the other matches that we watched from mootober, they were only like 10, 15 minutes-ish. This is actually, you know, a good length to the match. So let's go ahead and get into it. As with all of the other matches that we watch for the Great Mootober, we will not be linking to where you can find this match. This is not on the network. This is not on New Japan World. This might actually be on New Japan World because I think this is in New Japan, but I'm not going to go looking for it. That takes a little too much effort at the moment. But yeah, this, if you can find it, watch along with us. If not, that's cool because we're not going to link to it. We're not going to get in trouble with the FBI and the government, and our fledgling show, we're not going to have that get shut down on episode like 23.
Might really have to start Baldy and the stupid idiot.
Yeah.
All right, you want to do the honors today?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna go ahead and start the match in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, click. Yeah, that's
Yep.
Chono. I've honestly I've God, shut up. I've never watched a Masahiro Chono match. I've heard on multiple occasions that he's good. I've just never watched a match because he was like the second generation of like the top tier of New Japan stuff.
Yeah.
I just never watched any of his stuff.
I really want to go back and watch Young Togi Makabe sometime
Mm-hmm.
because I've
Blue
seen
Justice.
I've seen him work a lot, but I
Yeah.
heard his stuff when he was younger was like the balls and the wiener.
Yeah. All of that. Anyway, so now that the match is finished, how are you rating this match on a scale of 1 to 5 bronze?
Well, on a Muta scale, I would give it a 1. On a bronze scale, I would give it like
Well,
I don't know.
is 1 on a Muta scale like the top of Muta?
Yes, it is a 1.
Because you rated it a 1 out of 5 on the Muta scale, and that's definitely a 5 out of 5 on the Muta scale.
Oh, well, no, the Muta scale is out of 1 because the
Okay.
Eddie JBL match was a 1.1. That's like a 1 on the Muta scale.
Okay.
Because they invented it, so it gets to be a 1.
There it is. It's like it's the if anything below Muta scale is less than 1, that is 1.
I am I would give it like four bronze because it was a good match.
I too am gonna give it 4 Willems because it was a very solid match. I can't remark enough about how like underrated I feel Hiroshi Hase was because he did some good work in that match. There was a lot of great spots. That match was amazing.
Yeah.
There was a lot of good work, good amount of blood as you would expect from the match that created the Muta scale. I kind of want to go over a little bit about some of the accolades that Hiroshi Hase had because you never hear about him. Like if you go and you look on the internet wrestling community and you like talk about Japanese wrestling, even about like classic Japanese wrestling, you don't hear about Hiroshi Hase. You hear about like the Four Pillars or like the three the four horse not four horsemen, Three Musketeers and stuff like that. But you hear about these legendary groups of like 3 or 4 people that are always leading the company or leading whatever companies they're in through the times that they're in. But you never hear about people like Hiroshi Hase, who was a great worker, or at least evidenced by this match. He was a great worker. This very well could be, as I mentioned during the in-match portion, this very well could be the Bret Hart versus Tom McGee of Hiroshi Hase matches where Muta just carried him to a top-tier match.
Yeah. Also, I keep getting upset because you keep calling him Tom McGee, and I watch way too much Brian Zane, so I always expect it to be Tom McGee.
Oh.
So every time you say it, I'm always like I'm like, Willem, you're calling his name. It's the wrong name, buddy.
Well, to be fair, I don't watch Brian Zane, so
I'm just kidding. Oh, that's a cardinal sin. Boo! I boo you, sir.
Look, I understand. I appreciate Brian Zane. I've seen some of his videos. I've seen a fair amount of his videos. I just it's like movies. I don't go out of my way to watch it, but if it's on, and I'll watch it.
Well, next time I come home, I'm going to your house. We're gonna binge the shit out of some fucking Brian Zane.
Okay.
Because it will be on. Because I'll put it on.
Okay. But no, just some of the championships that the guy had. He was IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion twice. He had the IWGP Tag Team titles with Kensuke Sasaki and Muta for a good time.
Okay.
Super Grade Tag League. I don't know what that means. It's probably like the precursor to like the Tag League that we have now. And that was, again, one with Muta. Tag Team Best Bout with with Muta versus Jun Akiyama and Yuji Nagata, who we were talking about before. And that was tag team best bout. So he had a great match there. He had match of the year in it was that same match. Match of the year in Nikon Sports. Um, in PWI, he had 3 top 100 rankings in there. He was top 80 of top 500 singles wrestlers. Number 22 in top 100 tag teams for one with Great Muta and one with Kensuke Sasaki. He won titles in Stampede Wrestling. He was Rookie of the Year in Tokyo Sports. He got a Technique Award, whatever the fuck that is. He won the WCW International World Heavyweight Championship once. I don't know which one that is.
Let me look. Keep going. I'm looking it up.
He won Match of the Year in '91 with as a tag team. He was a tag guy. He was a big tag guy. Is what I'm getting a lot out of this. But you just don't hear about him. Even when looking at like great tag teams in history, you don't hear about Hiroshi Hase. Because he won Match of the Year in a tag match with Kensuke Sasaki versus the Steiners at a WCW New Japan Super Show. He got Best Technical Wrestler one time, and he's in like the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame. Like,
oh, okay.
So
holy shit.
He's got some like accolades under his name, but you just don't hear about the guy.
He is the real deal. Yeah. So not to switch subjects, but I did look up the history of that title.
Uh-huh.
So why you didn't know about it, and why I personally had never even heard about it, is it was only up for like a year.
Okay.
Not even like September to June.
Oh. Okay.
But it was mostly defended in Japan under like in New Japan.
Okay.
And it was the highest accolade of WCW International, which wasn't even a real thing.
Okay.
But these are the champions.
It was a very WCW thing.
Yes. Here are the champions real quick. Ric Flair, Rick Rude, Hiroshi Hase, Rick Rude, Sting, Rick Rude, vacated, Sting, Ric Flair. So lots of
Rick Rude.
I was gonna say lots of Ricks.
Yeah. You know it's WCW title when vacated is in there at least once.
Yeah.
With it within the first year of it being alive. Within the only year of it being alive.
Yeah. But Hase is the only like foreign wrestler, I guess you would call it, to win the belt. Like It was mostly defended in Japan. He's the only Japanese person to hold it, and he only held it for 8 days.
Oh.
So yeah.
Okay.
So and they were both on house shows. So as far as pay-per-views go, he never actually held the belt on a pay-per-view.
Okay.
Which is weird.
I mean, even so, like, he had a lot of accolades under his name.
Oh no, I'm not trying to shit on the guy. I was just going over the history of the title.
Well, and also, hold on. I scrolled up to the top of his Wikipedia page. He was in the 1984 Summer Olympics for amateur wrestling.
Oh, okay. Oh, so he was legit too.
Yeah, he was legit. And then he went into politics. Which, I mean, he was in office for a year doing something. Minister of Education, Culture, Sports, Science, and Technology. So he was a big shot. He had some good stuff, but you just don't hear about the guy. And I feel like that's a little bit of a disservice. I know I've said that like a million times. You just don't hear about the guy.
No, but you're not wrong.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, you don't. So I'm glad, we got to watch this match, and I think it's going to be another one like Onita, where I actually go back and watch more of his work, because this match was really, really, really good.
Right. One thing I will say is that so this is kind of a look back at Mootober as a whole, looking back as a creator, as a presenter of the product, looking back as a whole at just some general things. Number one, I feel like there is not enough. The recorded history of Japanese wrestling as a whole, even the most famous matches, is not great. And I feel like that's a disservice because there are, I'm sure, tons and tons of matches that are in the backlogs somewhere that have yet to be uploaded, that have yet to be found, yet to be cleaned up, yet to be like put out in a way that you can watch the matches clean. Um, it does kind of suck a little bit that the four matches that we watched, no, three of the four matches that we watched for Mootober, um, we couldn't link to it. There's unless um, unless somebody also had a video of it, there's no way for us to watch it with the fans, which is kind of the entire point of this channel.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of us talking about these matches as they happen, but there's not really a good way for people to watch them. And I feel like that's a disservice to a lot of these matches because there's good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff in these eras, in these like old matches, and that we just can't watch them anymore. Or like we can, but they're potato quality, and it just ruins it a little bit.
There were a lot of fantastic workers at this time. Like obviously at every time, but if you look at the way these guys wrestled, like we've said multiple times during the match, for those of you that are on YouTube and didn't hear the match portion, like this match could have been put on any card in the modern day and it would hold up. It was a good match. It was. I don't want to say it was the modern style, but it translated to the modern style.
Absolutely, it's definitely like if somebody, say you look at today's wrestling, if like who's two people that could do this? Let's say who are two people that could recreate this match? Daniel Bryan could take the place of Hiroshi Hase. Who could take place of Muta?
Somebody that can do a moonsault and likes to bleed. Still Muta. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Let's see.
And you may disagree with me on this. The first name that came to mind, Moxley.
Moxley, yeah.
Not the same style, but he could wrestle the physicality that this match demanded. Not afraid to bleed.
Nope.
Could have told a very similar story. I don't know if he's the perfect person to fill the void, but I feel like he could do it.
Yeah. Ooh, Roddy, probably.
Roddy
could fill Muta's spot.
Roddy Strong. Oh, yeah. Please. Didn't think about him. Yes. Yeah. Where is that match?
Daniel Bryan versus Roderick Strong. Recreate this match. Like you could put this match recreated by those two guys on TakeOver, and it would easily get 4 stars. This match was amazing.
I think those two could do this match and probably get more than 4 stars, honestly.
Right.
Like, I think 4 stars should probably be the basement of what those two would do if you just left them alone.
Right. But yeah, that's just kind of my spiel and how I feel about looking back as kind of a retrospective on this gimmick month that we did on the fun on stuff like this, because as I've said multiple times on the show, I don't take it upon myself to usually go back and watch a lot of old matches. I don't take it upon myself to go back and re-experience stuff like ECW, because even though I'm a fan, I'm definitely like, I'm a big fan. Like if you talk to me about a lot of these storylines, like I can give you, if I'm knowledgeable on the storyline, I can give you an encyclopedic like retelling of what happened, especially of like stuff happening today, because I've been watching it. But I don't take it upon myself to go back and look at a lot of this stuff. So that's kind of a nice thing about us doing this show, because I can go back and watch these matches that I never would have experienced.
Yeah. I also think it's funny when you're like, no, trust me, I'm a mark, but you have a wrestling YouTube podcast. That's like, if you weren't a mark, that would be very strange.
Like, yo, I don't give a shit about wrestling, but let's make a podcast. I gotta make them duck it somehow.
them ducats.
Yeah.
Gotta get all them green wrestling papers.
Yep.
Let's see if I have anything else to say. I was very impressed this month by Muta. We didn't get to see as much blood as maybe we had originally thought.
Yeah.
But the dude, good worker. I can't say I've ever watched a lot of Muta stuff.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the stuff I've gone back and watched is the American product,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just obvious reasons. I mean, the commentary is in English; it's easier to access. And when I got into wrestling big back this current time, when I got back in really hard, a lot of my stuff I watched through the network. That's
Yeah.
how I got back in, as I watched old shit on the network. So I know a little bit more about the older stuff than you, and I have seen a little bit more of these matches. But still, like stuff like this, I never would have, like you said, never would have gone out of my way to see, and
Right.
that's what's really cool for me.
The one of the things that I realized that I just kind of thought of just now. So if you go kind of based off of what's recorded and what we can see easily, like the Great Muta is a legend in the business, hands down. Like if you talk to any like wrestling historian, anybody who watched a lot of this stuff as it happened, the Great Muta is an absolute legend, one of the best one of the best workers in the history of the business. However, if you go back and watch what's recorded and what's readily available, that's not evident in any of that stuff. Because a lot of the stuff that's on the network are some fairly bad matches, like Muta versus Ric Flair, a match that you would expect to be amazing because these two are great workers, and also you'd expect it to be a bloody as all hell match because of who they are.
Yeah.
But you go back and look at it, and it's a boring run-of-the-mill match. It's not a great match. Another match that's on the network that's with the Great Muta is God, who was it? Barry Windham. And that was also rated as a very low quality match. So again, if you just kind of go by what we have readily available, you would never expect to have Muta rank as a legendary performer in the history of the business.
Yeah.
But then you go and you look on stuff like Cage Match and like Pro Wrestling DB and stuff like that, and he's got all of these great accolades and 5-star matches and all these things that are amazing in history, but you can't watch them easily. And that's kind of upsetting.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer, but I don't. The only way I could ever see these all being super easy to access is one of two ways. Either A, don't pay attention to me plugging my headphones back in. Either A, like, and
Somebody,
this is the one I don't want to happen. The dub buys everything and puts it
yeah,
all on the network. And I think that's the way I want to see this the least. The way I think that is more likely is as like different companies starts to grow and the indies start to grow. Like New Japan has proved, and I don't mean this in a negative way, that with the budget that they're on, they can't produce a website and a catalog that is as slick and has as good of a search engine as WWE Network.
mm-hmm.
And WWE Network search engine sucks, but it's still way better than New Japan's.
Yeah, it really is.
So, but if maybe New Japan, AAA, Ring of Honor, potentially AEW, all these companies could get in and just say, what if we all did a super like streaming service,
Yeah.
all the indie stuff all together? You don't get the pay-per-views, mind you. This is just the back catalog, but you get the whole back catalog of all these amazing companies.
Mm-hmm.
God, that'd be so huge for wrestling.
It would be amazing because you can get like you can go back and watch all these matches that they're definitely not available today. And the only way that they're available today is if you go back and you go on eBay and you try and find some super old DVDs that somebody's selling for $800 because it's like a classic Ring of Honor DVD and they can't find it anywhere else. Or if you go and like try and see if there's anybody in those old tape trading circles.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. But then you're relying on tape trades,
Right.
and most of those are potato quality because they've been tape traded.
Right.
Like
They're
just what happens.
they're potato quality. That you have to kind of like go through some like weird scrupulous things in order to even find them. And not only that, you may not even be getting the match that you want, because like a lot of the times the tape trades, they've got that shit written on there and somebody could have taped over it. You could be going and finding a legendary match that you would never have expected to see, and it just turns out that, oh, they recorded over it with my daughter's ballerina recital or some shit.
God, wouldn't that be disappointing?
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you have anything else to say today?
No.
I have an announcement.
What is your announcement?
I happened to see just before we went on air. I wanted to save this for the end.
Okay.
There was a big announcement between WWE and Netflix today.
Ooh.
They will be producing a multi-part Netflix documentary on Vince McMahon.
Oh,
And
I did not know that. I didn't see that news.
It is slated to be the highest budgeted Netflix documentary in the history of the company.
I can believe it.
So they're going to like. It sounds like it's going to like actually be a big thing. My guess is they're trying to do something like The Last Dance, which was the big Michael Jordan multi-part documentary.
That's
I would
probably,
not be surprised, if this was like the equivalent.
So how is that an announcement for us? Or are you just announcing that that is a thing that happened?
I'm just announcing that's a thing. That was just announced today. It's just not an us announcement, just a general wrestling announcement.
You're just bringing it to people's attention that it's a thing that's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good shit.
That's some good shit.
That's such good shit. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's the end for today.
Yep.
Really good day. I liked that match quite a bit.
Do you let's see. Probably gonna do a stream this Sunday because it's Sunday and we usually do a stream on Sunday. We know that next Saturday we are going to be watching Full Gear live as a pay-per-view watch along because that's going to be so good.
Oh.
What are we watching on Tuesday? Do you know, or have you not decided yet? I know what we're doing on Thursday, but not on Tuesday.
We have a few options that I think you and I have gone over.
Okay.
Did you have anything particular that you wanted to see?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay, I think we'll save that for Sunday then.
Okay.
Because I don't have my notebook on me.
Okay.
But I think I'll try to get away from the more popcorn, garbage wrestling matches for at least a day or so on Tuesday. So maybe it'll be something a little more
work rate.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Thursday we got some spectacle coming your way.
I'm fucking excited.
I'm so excited for that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Just so everybody knows, sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Thursday we will be getting back to trilogies.
Yes.
So that is the start of a new trilogy. And we'll announce which one particularly on Tuesday.
Yes. But anyways, thank you everybody for coming out and watching. Thank you for giving us all your love on Facebook, on Twitter, if you followed us already. Thank you for likes and subscribes on YouTube. We love seeing you there. Thank you for all the listens on the audio-only podcast. We will be back this Sunday at some point in the afternoon. Usually we try to say 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but we don't know what time we're going to be on. It all depends on what we're doing on Sunday, but we know we will be here. We will see you then. We know guaranteed we're going to be here on Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a match that we have yet to decide on. Thank you everybody for coming out. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.